easier for us. Okay? So I'm going to allow each group tell us what they think, if they are primary or secondary stakeholder or tertiary stakeholder, and I'll allow other groups to respond to that opinion or perspective from them. Okay? Members of group one, are you a primary, secondary, or tertiary stakeholder? Primary. Okay. Is anyone contesting their rights as primary stakeholders to the land?
We own the land.
You own the land. Okay.
The whole island?
No, but we own the section of the
The section of land.
But not where we live.
I mean, if you want to sell it.
How you use zone does directly affect us. Golf courses can use a lot of pesticides, which can increase health risks in people that live nearby. Water intensity will put a strain on how we use our water and how much water will cost for us.
We're using organic fertilizer
And pesticides.
and pesticides.
Pretty sustainable management practice.
True.
We have a building.
Hold up. Alexa?
Going back to the beginning, we're the landowners, we're the cultural stewards, we're the residents of that land.
Hold on.
We're directly affected by FEMA and the flood zones and any insurance changes and land pressures. So we're like the direct landowners of the land that we live on.
You're not the landowner. You sold us the land. You own the land around it, but you don't own the land that we're
I'm
developing.
holding the deed right here. It's
Any other group contesting that? Yes, please.
You're actually appealing the decision that you weren't able to build on that land currently, so you don't have permission to build on it right now.
To build a golf course.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have permission right
you
now.
don't have permission right now.
To build a golf course. But we can still build one.
Yes,
Do you have to get permission for other things? You ever got permission yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that. I really like that a lot. I like that train of thought. Yes, please.
How would you be able to promise that not only the waterways wouldn't be polluted, but that there wouldn't be major displacement from the infrastructure and building of luxury homes, so increased property taxes, and yeah, pretty much destroying your livelihood?
All right, so to keep the water health up, we're gonna establish riparian areas around all of the water sources to develop a buffer zone. I don't know how to answer the economic part of the question.
We're gonna be helping the economy. We're bringing new business.
Yeah, bringing jobs, business, other people in, like other taxpayers, we're paying taxes.
From the community perspective, it's not wanted business.
The land is gonna be going from private to having public access, so are y'all just going to let anyone onto that land and further destroy it?
I mean, if they pay to get on the golf course, then I
Okay.
So you guys would be building on the land. You only benefit from the displacement and the undervalued land, but you don't create the policies directly. So we would go to you guys, because you guys create the policies.
That's them actually.
Is it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question? Repeat it?
There wasn't a question, it's
Oh,
a
okay.
statement.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't create the policies,
Yeah.
they only benefit from the displacement and the undervalued land. So we would go to, I believe it's the government group
Yes.
for policies.
Are you guys thinking about any policies with regards to ownership of this land? What we're still talking about.
I mean, I do like what they're saying, how they're gonna build sustainably, use organic, but I mean, our main interest is the local community, so we'd kind of have to discuss with each other. But
Well, don't you want your economy to thrive?
well, the guy who owns the land, if we don't say we want the golf course, he's just gonna build houses, so we would be benefiting financially there, but I don't know. I mean, it's not necessarily the island isn't like not thriving right now, so.
And
Hold on, I'll come back to you. Go ahead.
It says that your original goal, is to remove the 100-year-long private privately owned land and turn it into public access, trying to preserve 80% and educate and donate to the Villa Beachy people without displacing them, but if that's your true goal, why wouldn't you turn it into a nature preserve or an educational facility?
Well, we have to make money off of it too.
People can buy tickets to an educational experience.
Who's going to that?
Me.
Why
all of us,
can't,
that's
hey,
it.
hey, why can't it be both? I bought the land, I like golf, it can be both at the same time.
We can establish, maybe we can like establish like a section of our golf courses
What's
that are like.
educating about
They were gonna
these
make it
6-hole
education.
golf courses?
Every single hole's gonna have a fun fact.
Now, whenever there is a will, there is a way, and they are showing the way to bypass whatever boundary you push at them. Okay? Now, I want us to finalize that conversation. At this point, we have two primary stakeholders. Now, the two primary stakeholders are the community as well as the private corporation. The community, they have a claim, a customary claim to the land, being the original owner. They have a deed from the government which also gives them the right to own the land. But it is the project on the land that is contentious right now. So is it okay with other groups that they are secondary stakeholders?
We're just here to educate.
Yes, everyone else is here to educate.
I don't want to speak for them, but I would argue that the government is also a primary stakeholder.
That was the question I wanted to pose to you guys.
This problem as well as a community, we heavily rely on you guys to protect the land. So please do so.
So do you want to step back or step up?
We, after a discussion, we would like to say no to the golf course, because it will have, we already have the law in place that says no golf courses, so we were gonna follow that we made, and then B, it's gonna cause a lot of harm to the community, and we're with our community, so.
Notice the community started by showing the government started by showing concern for the community. Even when they flash development and tax and levies to them, their interest still remain with the community. So with that, the government as a part of this conversation would be considered the secondary stakeholder. Okay, what about our negotiables? What can we negotiate? The community. What do you guys want to negotiate on? What can you guys let go? What are you guys not holding on firmly to? What can you guys leave for their favor?
Like, obviously, you still own the land, you can develop the land, we would just need you to do it in a way that doesn't restrict access to cultural sites or water, or will poison anyone.
Does that sit well with the NGOs?
It does.
Good. So it goes back to you guys.
Yeah, I think we actually talked about like bringing on a community manager, for lack of better words, to have like, so that we have members of the community present while we're developing and establishing a plan. That way, like, I don't know, you can like determine if what we're doing is.
I would also be invited to do regular checks and make sure everything's in line with your standards.
Well, how does that feel to you guys?
Well, historically, just like on the displacement side of things, that has been a very common occurrence. So it wouldn't just be environmental things in this case, especially with property taxes displacing people in general. So I think that also needs to be something that's prioritized. I don't know if that's something that they need to come up with and put in place, but yeah.
Good. We are headed somewhere. They have just one negotiable. Whatever development you want to put on that land, subject to our approval, but regardless, we own the land. So even though you have the deed, they still want their land. Do you have a negotiable to toss at them? A demand, a ask, something that you want them to let go of.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know, I'll speak for everybody. I think we're willing to negotiate, but at the end of the day, like, we have to turn a profit. And I think, like, from the community perspective, we just want to leave the land how it is. And I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I have an idea for how you guys can make a profit, sell the land.
Would you guys be interested in buying it?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Is the government interested in buying the land?
Yes,
Yes. Then what is the government going to do on the land?
the land they have.
Is that okay with you guys?
Our money, and then we'll turn it into.
The land goes back to the government. What does the government plan to do with the land?
The government's gonna raise the taxes on the community because they wanted the land back. And now we have no money.
That's
And
the
we can't do
reality.
anything.
Yes, that's the reality of the ground. Let me paint the picture for you guys. Although this conversation we're having might seem light-hearted, but this is how things play out there when you negotiate for your rights out there. Now, the government, rightfully so, wants the land back. They are the ones that gave them the deed. The deed has a legal signature of the government on top of it. Now, the government gets the land. The government wants to tax you guys more. How does that bode well with everyone? I'll start with the corporation.
We turn to profit. Yeah, as long as we're making money, which is.
How do you guys feel? With the government taxing already poor people because they refuse the developmental projects? A common ground.
I mean, we're opposed to that, but it sounded like they were open to development, just not a golf course.
Yeah, we stand.
Yeah, if they wanna sell it to like, somebody who's gonna develop it in a more sustainable
They
way.
do not want to negotiate on that ground. They only have two questions, either the golf course or the houses.
I'm curious what the government's doing with the land that we're getting taxed more.
Yes. What are you guys doing with the land? Are you going to tax them more?
You
Hold on,
wanna create.
While you guys are thinking about that
Yeah,
response,
something
Nick,
like
please.
On Stakeholder Island,
Create
there
a
are already
cultural site
8
on the two
different golf
cultural
clubs, so
sites
if I'm
and
gonna be taxed,
start
I
charging
don't want
money
it to be
for it.
for a
And
nine
like
golf club.
Education
Yes.
facility.
Yeah.
Will be taxed for
Facility
not
and like
And the other stuff that's left over.
I
Yes,
think
sir.
I'm also
we
just a
could
little
use
bit
the,
curious why the government is
to give
raising
tours
taxes
or
for them
something
when they were
like
already
community
mentioning
members, I don't
that
know.
they were going to abide by the already
Community
put in
members
place
can give
policies
tours.
to keep golf courses from being built there, so they're buying the golf course, so that doesn't get built, but then they're causing issues for the community at the same time, so I feel like this is just kind of defeating the purpose.
Tori, you're killing it today. They're really scared of your answer questions. I see it on their faces. I see it on the faces. You're giving them pretty difficult questions. But you guys, what are your responses to that? They're thinking. They'll get back to you. Is the government ready? Okay.
We're gonna create 2 cultural sites because there are already 2 there, but then we're gonna create more infrastructure around them and create museums and like education centers where the community can create more jobs and then they can work there and educate about your cultural heritage and all that. And the rest of it'll just be kind of there.
That sounds 100% like what our elected officials would say.
Are y'all still raising taxes on them then?
Yes.
Somebody's gotta pay for it.
Yes.
And will you be giving those, you're making those new sites and those museums, are those jobs going to go to our community?
Of course.
For us to
Of
work
course,
in?
yeah.
Okay, and then, are we gonna be receiving accurate and clear information from you guys regarding the things that are being built and how they are being built and if they're affecting our environment?
Yeah, I mean, it would just be like a museum or an education center. Like, it wouldn't be large scale development.
Okay.
It would,
Do you have a percentage on the raise on our taxes? Like how much more you're gonna pay
God.
us? No. For these things?
Maybe like
oh my God, like
Depends how much it costs.
3%?
At least.
3%?
Okay.
Is that realistic? I don't know.
I think that is something that sits well with the community and a lot of people in this room. Okay? But I still find that very, very strange. The reason being that when you tax working people more, you get some resistance from them. Especially when there is nothing on ground to show. But maybe this is something that would happen later, so I'm just preempting it, okay? But I'll let it sit and move on, okay? What about our non-negotiable, what we cannot change? I'm gonna start with the government this time around. What can the government not change on this?
On like the new situation that we created?
The existing situation that you guys have created.
Well, I would
Do you
say
want to leave it as
taxes.
it is or change it in some form?
I mean, we were kind of okay with having them develop something, but if the community wanted us to buy the land back, then we could do that too.
Okay, that's a trade-off. What about the community? Is that a trade-off that you guys are happy with?
Museum for 3% higher taxes.
But we get those jobs.
And the land doesn't get developed versus.
What's like, I'm just curious, like, what our income is every year for tourism in the first place. Do we even get many people coming by the spot?
Are the golf
Is it not a
It's next to
Yeah.
Beaufort's popular. It's great if we can get jobs at these museums and inform people, but like, what's the point if, there's no income and there's no money that's gonna fund these jobs?
So then you would like the development by the corporation?
Let's get together, okay?
I guess I don't think the community would enjoy seeing a bunch of houses go up, but I think at this point, there's more of a risk in buying, it seems like there's more of a risk in buying back the land than there is in letting them develop in the first place. I think as long as we go about their development in a sustainable manner, it's very highly kind of regulated and our community members are involved in the project.
Sorry. Also, like, going back to the golf course, because I want to talk about it. We could meet in the middle for that and have a sustainable golf course, but it can also be a cultural site where you have like signs and things up that talk about our community and everything, and we can work there, but you can still profit off of
I
it.
don't want a golf course.
No, okay.
I don't want parking spaces.
I was just trying to find
Yes.
a middle ground
Yeah.
that the government doesn't bring.
Land acknowledgement. Is that something that you guys are willing to adopt as a trade-off to business?
We'll put a paragraph at the bottom of our website.
What do they want?
Yeah.
There's something I picked up just now that I also need to talk to you guys about. Now, with regard to that trade-off on land acknowledgement, they agreed to it. And we're quickly taking our eyes away from it until they mentioned, well, we're going to put it at the base of our website. So sometimes when you make demands within a forum like this, make sure that you put a lot of caveat around it that tells them this is what I actually want, not some version that you're going to end up hosting, okay? Because in the heat of the conversation, a lot of details get lost. So, and those details might end up becoming a grand issue that we want to solve down the road, okay? The government have provided their trade-off. I think, yes, you guys have provided a trade-off. What's your trade-off? What are you guys willing to trade off on this conversation? Are you willing to start supporting them if they do some things? Or are you willing to keep supporting the community subject to some conditions?
I think that we're with the community on this one. Right now, I can't really tell if the government buying the land is a good idea.
Yeah, I had a question about the whole raising taxes thing. What kind of tax are you putting on us?
I would assume property taxes. Like, they have property taxes, right?
Good luck with that.
Yeah, property taxes go up when the area
Develops.
Okay.
when it
Well,
becomes more.
Yeah,
I mean,
they just
sales-
developed like a bunch of houses on the land and the
Yeah,
property
property
taxes.
taxes
Yeah, I
go
don't
up.
think we can do sales
So you're
tax.
gonna like tax income or?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess you would.
income.
Yeah.
What
Income
That
taxes.
is also a strategy to move the land away from the community. Although the community might not see that now, but that's a way to move them out of their land. Because they would not be able to pay that tax. They would not be able to move into those apartments that the government is building. Before you know it, you have visitors and strangers coming into the land and taking over the land. Yes.
We'd also be facing, higher insurance costs because we aren't going to be able to build on that land. And if you guys take it and build there, you'll have zones, like zoning, so we won't be able to afford to build there. So having the government buy it would negatively affect us. If we could find a middle ground with the private sector, even though we are losing, it probably would be better to go that course than it would be for the government to buy it back. Because we're not going to be able to afford it. We can afford this, but we can't afford that.
on this side, that sounds like music to my ear. And I'd like to hear how you
Yeah,
guys
wait
react to
till
that.
you hear our request.
Okay.
We've already
Alright,
decided.
let me have you your
Yeah, no,
things.
they don't
I
know
don't know,
what
does
they want.
it have to be, like, the development doesn't all have to be luxury housing? Like, you're building on a land of like poor people, but they can't afford to even live in the houses that you wanna build, so maybe like.
Maybe.
Hey, guys, Bill Penn, literally right across the waterway. Okay, they'll go there. trust me.
Guys, be greedy and selfish to the maximum extent for your stakeholder group.
It seems like a bad idea to develop land on an island where with the sea level rise and all that.
They are developing that land not for the Gulagichis, but as vacation homes, as second, third, fourth homes. The consequence of this is that the environment is going to suffer and the Gulagichis will move out of the environment. So those properties, the golf course, is not meant for the Gulagichis. But guess what? It is their best decision. And I strongly support it. Because whether we like it or not, climate change will eventually happen. So the land will be lost. So before the land is lost, let us take out what we can from it.
So essentially, because of the placement of where it is with the rising sea levels and the climate change with hurricanes and different like environmental effects, the land that we're trying to fight for, we're eventually going to lose anyways, but if we let them take it and build on it, they're just gonna get destroyed and they're gonna lose all their profit. Correct?
They will lose all their profits, but you guys will get some royalty, you get some tax that you can actually use, move to what's the capital of South Carolina? Move to the capital of South Carolina or move down to Boone and start your life with the money.
Okay. But we'd be giving up our land if we did that.
Or you'll be giving up your land. I'm here in America, haven't I given up my family land?
I just want to point out that there's no guarantee that you guys will be able to get out of the zoning, that you'll need multiple state and federal permits and need approval from the Army Corps of Engineers. And there is a predominant preservation and cultural heritage attorney who, along with local conservationists, wants to see the land preserved rather than developed, and will be working against you.
What about a mini golf course?
You don't think you guys are gonna putt or something? Yeah.
We've pointed enough fingers at them. Let us point the fingers somewhere else. The government.
With that being said though, y'all said in the beginning that you were going to adhere to the old zoning laws that are being challenged right now. Is that still the case with all of this information?
Yeah, we're saying no golf courses.
Yes. What do you guys think?
No golf course.
We're good with no golf.
Okay. I think we all have a baseline of how we want that land, of how we want that land to be managed, right? Now, the baseline is that we don't want golf course. We want it to go back to the community. So the land that we're trying to manage, this Centennial land that belongs to the Gulagichi, we're getting some clarity on how we want to see it managed. So let us properly see if everyone's if everyone's interests are met. What about our responsibilities? Let us take the responsibilities for each of the group. Community, what are your responsibilities? To the land.
Stewardship of the land and maintaining cultural heritage, having a say in decisions that impact our homes and livelihoods, protecting our homes from displacement and unjust policies, and preventing environmental harm while maintaining access to our natural resources.
Did everyone get that?
Oh.
And I'd like to add like a whole climate change thing, kind of maybe pivot a little bit. I want like to ensure like for our older residents that aren't gonna want to move, that they will be able to live here and they'll be able to live in peace. And then I want like financial assurances that the other people will be able to move out.
There's a reaction to that. Yes.
Insurance? How does insurance for climate change?
Insurance for climate change comes in the form of what do you call it? Green credit, carbon tax. That's how they get the money from it. That's some kind of insurance. Right now I'm working with, I can't remember the group's name, but we're trying to protect 1,500 acres in Caldwell County. So it's just basically paying them for leaving the land as it is. But in this case, we know they are not leaving the land as it is, so we are paying them for the new management features that they are going to be installing in that land.
Yeah, I mean, like, here, last year, actually, like, 2 days last year, not
Last year, the hurricane,
Yeah.
right?
a hurricane, and that was, we all know, essentially caused by climate change, and yet they didn't have insurance to cover the impacts that were caused by climate change.
There
from the
is
hurricane, and
insurance.
so, yeah, except they didn't have the right insurance because they didn't have flood insurance. And so, FEMA had to step in, but FEMA won't step in for the climate change impacts that are gonna be happening to the people on the island, because that's something that's.
Framing is what matters. How you define what is happening if it's climate change, what is happening if it is natural and not climate change. That's what will determine if that insurance will be activated. But the notion that the insurance is non-existent or is not there, go ahead, please.
I wasn't saying that there wasn't insurance there, but I mean, like, in certain areas in Florida, you won't get covered by insurance for like flood insurance because you're in like an area that's known to flood, and so you won't have that coverage, and you're still gonna lose your house.
Then what about FEMA? What does FEMA do for us? What is FEMA's
They're
responsibility?
emergency. I wrote a paper on this. They're emergency
Give us
response.
the information. We need the information here. Come on.
You know my stance on this. That's all up to it's up to the government, it's up to state and local infrastructure to take charge and take care of the community. It's not
That's
up
why
to
I said
FEMA.
we should be pointing hands at these guys and not these
I know,
guys.
that's what I was saying. Because
In the first place, yes, go ahead.
We also need to be paying attention to FEMA's flood map changes because they're making it harder for the community to live and keep our land because you constantly have to be out of that zone because you're in danger.
It changes all the time. So how do you expect the common people to know about that? Yes, please. I'm still waiting for reaction from the government. Yes, Johanna.
With the like cultural protection overlay and the zoning laws that are in place too, it might just be worth it to invest in like climate resistant infrastructure and also kind of like helping the land be more like resilient to climate change and climate disasters that happen in that area. So that might be something to consider, especially if we did buy the land from them.
Yes.
I mean, there's money that can be funneled into a lot of different things right now.
Oh, there's something that we're not even considering. We know the academics don't have a lot of money to buy land. But is the NGO interested in buying this property?
we could be.
We did want to propose possibly making it a nature preserve.
Like park.
Would you guys be interested in investing in a nature preserve?
Oh,
As
absolutely.
against the golf course?
Didn't we do that?
Absolutely.
What? Didn't we do that? What? No.
Well, I think it also has
It was like
nature
cultural
always
thing. Yeah, we get it.
you know, like, I think we see a lot of times that like it just becomes even more private now.
Okay.
You can't even get on the
Because we're
land.
responsible
for
for
the
everything.
nature preserve.
Well, it was more about protecting the biodiversity in the land from you guys overdeveloping it.
And the fish.
That's a good question, I like that. Anyone? Yes, go ahead, Josh.
Alright, this is gonna be kind of convoluted maybe, but just stick with me here. So we talked a little bit about it being okay for the government to develop on this land. We know that with climate change in the future, this land will continue to be degraded. And kind of what that's gonna mean is if we do let them develop on this land and climate change happens and sea levels rise and encroach on their land, their main kind of goal is probably gonna be, well, let's keep pushing back development. Let's keep developing further into the indigenous lands. And so maybe a way that can, something we can do to kind of in everybody's best interest, would the government be willing to pass a law after this sale that no more land will be bought in private interest and will remain with the community, and on the private side for your development, you guys will face these climate change problems regardless, you know, if you put a golf course or develop houses anyway, so it's in your best interest to try to protect this land. So you guys could, you know, work with education and or the NGOs to develop your land in a way that would simultaneously protect your interests and our land at the same time, but also, you know, avoiding encroachment from development as well. So maybe that's something we can kind of work on together. Like, it's okay if you guys develop land, but we just want to make sure it protects us, and, you know, you guys do what you got to do to protect your development interests as well. But I think that would benefit everybody.
Reactions?
I think that was great.
That's- yeah, that's
Yeah.
Okay, can we pivot towards that?
So Gov, are y'all chill with that?
So
Would you pass
all
that
we
law?
would have to do is protect your land that you have right now, and then they have to protect
Yeah,
their land.
we want you guys to pass a law that states that there will not be further development beyond what has already been bought and planned to be developed to protect our community land, which land that already might be, you know, getting messed up later anyways.
Do you guys want a Starbucks later on or no?
What about local businesses? Like, what about local
So
businesses?
if they
Yeah.
were to stay
More
by
local
that, then that
businesses,
wouldn't
not
be
bad.
possible for them to even build anything on the land right now.
Coming from the academics is not possible.
Yeah.
So we don't even need a law to do that. We only need the government to pass some form of legislation, some form of regulation. Because unless the corporation do not do their scoping or their EIA properly, they should know that because of climate change and how prone the soil is, they cannot develop it any further. The conversation we are having is almost getting to an end. Thank you so much, Josh. We need a template that this is the best way to manage this land with everyone's interest met. Is everyone's interest met by the argument Josh is putting out there? Is that a good management regime? It remains with them, the government supports, and the corporations also do what they want to do.
I think that solves the issue right now, but not in the future.
Yes, the future issue is what we're going to address next because we have a baseline to start. So once everyone is in agreement, we go to the next step. What are the other issues? But before I do that, yes, let me hear from you.
For the researchers, because I don't know if I just missed where your place was, but if you'd be willing to keep them in check and make sure they're doing it sustainably, and then you can still come on our land and do research and keep pumping things out. I just wasn't sure if we had made that connection, so.
For sure, no, I think, we didn't really discuss that, but I
That's a
think kind of
non-negotiable
like,
for them.
Okay.
Yeah, like regular testing of water to make sure that they are actually using organic fertilizers like they said they would.
They're gonna develop their land, so we can make taxes and stuff on it.
Any,
Do what?
Just them after them.
like that in the area as well.
Yeah, but then like,
I'm just really curious what
you're
the
gonna have to
state
develop it
was
somehow,
because we haven't
cause
really
then
talked about
they
that.
build like
Yeah.
600 houses.
There's like a
Where they all
lot
gonna
of
go?
Can we
places.
all listen together? There's so many side talks, but I'd like us to put that all together so we can think together. Tori, please. After Tori, Meg, you go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, like, we haven't really talked about the fact that there are zoning laws in the cultural protection overlay that exist already that they are trying to challenge, because right now you can't even ride a golf cart, like, on that
Yes.
land, so what does that mean for that?
Would you guys be okay with dropping the golf course over developing houses?
Like you want us to develop houses?
Yeah, sorry, that was, we were gonna say that. We'd rather you see you develop houses than we would see you develop a golf course.
But you can't develop a gated community. That's
No
against the
gated
law.
communities, not.
That would also have to help y'all in a way because of the property taxes being raised, there would have to be some type of like protection,
Development
that there
will
wouldn't
come.
be displacement.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just curious, like where this conversation got wrong, because if the government was doing its job correctly in the first place, there's like permits that are necessary and zoning laws in place that prevent y'all from developing in the first place. So we would completely have to dismantle that before we have any further conversation about negotiables.
That's a big ask.
We're just gonna do it anyways.
Yeah, that's possible to do it anyways, but then you start with
Y'all are
research.
challenging it right now, there's no like
Yeah, I actually have a question
guarantee
about
that this could actually happen.
So I know that whatever his name is suing. 'Cause
Yes.
On what grounds is he suing?
Because it's got a deed.
Right.
Because he bought it from the government. It's the government that initiated all of this. The ordinary government gave him the right to actually develop the land. But the problem is now the CPO doesn't want that. It is part of their bylaws that nothing like that should be on there. Yes, Ms. Kendall.
He's showing for 3 golf courses, not just 1.
Yes.
It's 3.
Yeah, but only like
There's
three,
6 holes.
six
Say
holes.
there's 6 holes.
That's one 18 hole.
Yeah.
That's a normal
I
hole.
don't play golf.
You don't
It's
take
not-
golf.
18 holes.
I don't know anything about that. So you're asking the wrong person. Okay? Now, I believe we have this for all the groups. We have what all the groups are willing to trade and what all the groups are not willing to trade. This is the outline for us. But we need this. Okay? And now we're sticking with the points where there is a common ground. That's the management structure that we've decided on. The community still retains the ownership, co-owned with the private corporations for only selected development. Any argument? Now we have peace. So let us go ahead and talk about our 4 arrows a little bit more. We have the responsibilities from the community. Do you have what you may consider as this is a responsibility we would like, but we don't have the responsibility at this time? Is there anyone like that? Do you want the responsibility that you don't have now? Good. What about the corporation? What are your responsibilities?
To develop, to boost jobs, pay our taxes.
Use the land in a way that doesn't disproportionately affect others. We're still able to.
Which is in line with what they want. So we are all moving forward in a good way. Then what about responsibilities you don't have at the moment you wish you have?
Access to manage the land.
Okay. That's a hard no, right? That's a hard no. Okay. What about you guys, the academics? What are your responsibilities?
To
I
be
want everyone-
educated, educate others, like look through all the possible pathways of what could happen and like what they should and shouldn't be doing.
Okay. You're still sticking to holding them to do what they said they would do. Okay, you guys are up the hook a little bit. They are not checkmating you guys. The government, I'm sorry. You guys are receiving a little more bashing than you should have. What are your responsibilities?
We said regulate the land use in the way that it's provisioned, and then you.
Just uphold environmental and cultural laws, and while also balancing economic growth with the preservation of the land.
Okay, Cora, you have anything for me? No, we're good. Does that sit well with the community? Because now we have a co-managed land with the community and the private corporation, so we should be running our ideas by them. And of course, the academics would make sure that the sustainable development that they plan to do, they carry it out, while the NGO is sitting by the fence waiting to pounce to buy the land from them. So if what they say they are supposed to do, they don't do it, the NGO will take over the land, purchase it from the government, and work with you guys. All on the same page? Is that still your responsibility?
Do we have money to buy the land?
No.
We were not.
You don't want to buy?
No.
Okay, I thought at some point you guys threw it out there that if it's possible, you buy.
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay. So what are your responsibilities?
We said work between people, government, developers, educate on potential impacts of golf course and development on the land, and also educate and work with on the zoning laws, that whole thing.
That's spot on. Okay, what about our returns? Community.
The continuation of culture, our livelihoods, and community integrity.
Can you say that again? I think a lot of people didn't get it.
Continuation of culture, our livelihoods, and community integrity.
Good. Does that sit well with everyone? That's their returns, that's their benefit from it. Corporation, what's your benefit from managing this land that's co-managed with the community?
Profit.
That's good. What else?
I don't know, I feel like it also is gonna help, like, if we can manage this section of land correctly, it gives us a good name to potentially move on and have other opportunities to.
That's a good return. That's a good return, I like it.
Just like recreation space, we talked about that too.
Yeah, recreation
Making
space.
sure we're not completely destroying it.
Okay, the recreation space is given back to the community. You don't have to pay to access it.
Oh.
Okay, does that sit well?
Maybe a
Alright.
small payment.
Yes. I was gonna say,
like-
maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, just
A little bit.
Like, yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe locals getting free.
Oh.
Be on top of your game. Be on top of your game to police these guys. All right.
Pay 5 times your own fee.
I know we're enjoying ourselves. We're almost running out of time. What about our relationships? I think the relationship is pretty clear as it is built right now. But I would like to hear from the government what their plans are. The picture of the relationship was taken out of the class because this is a co-managed land. These are the primary stakeholders. We have these two groups working with them. That's the relationship that we have. We have a stronger relationship between the academics and the community, and not trusted relationship between the community and academics as they try to police them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
The government, what about you guys?
I mean, we really want to be tied to the local communities, but we also have to be tied with the developers, so we kind of act as like a negotiator between compounding interests.
Okay. Does that sit well with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. So the government also wants to join force in making sure that your missions are achieved, and also help them in policing cooperation. Are we all moving forward in the same way? Okay. What about covered rights, responsibility, returns? What's the final area that we're missing? What?
We didn't talk about.
I don't think we did.
Rights?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I got the rights from you guys. What about your rights?
Let's see, we have the right to access and develop land. I think we expect like the reasonable cooperation of our governing bodies, as cooperation in general. We have the right to turn a profit.
Yeah, I was kind of, yeah.
Okay. What about your rights?
I mean, we have definitely a right to be able to study and research the land and collect data on the land, and also advocate for the communities and for the environmental issues that we see occurring.
Spot on. Mike?
We also have the right to provide feedback based on our data, and demand
Yes.
action to keep them in check and,
Yes, I like that.
in progress with their commitments.
Did everyone get that? Okay, go ahead.
I'd also like to add the distribution of that data
Yes.
fairly.
When you distribute it, open access, freely available to everyone, because you can also make money from it, but don't be like these guys. All right? Rights, the government, right to collect tax. What are your rights, Mr. Government, Miss Government?
Regulate land use the way, or regulate land use in the way that is provisioned.
Okay.
Make money from it, and make money from people as well, and then also regulate everybody.
Yes. Okay, oversight. The government conducts oversight over everything you do as their right, and it is indeed their right to do that. What about you guys, the NGO?
Right to stand with the people and help protect the land, and ability to be in discussion spaces.
Okay. Yes, we've covered everyone on that. Have we covered all parts of the 4 Iris?
That should be it.
That should be it. Yes, please.
I have a question. Was the government a primary stakeholder or a secondary stakeholder?
The government is a secondary stakeholder.
Okay.
Yes. They started as a secondary stakeholder and ended as a secondary stakeholder.
Okay.
Both of you started as primary stakeholders, ended as primary stakeholders. The other group are secondary stakeholders.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So basically from this meeting that we just had, I want you guys to go back and come up with a better way to manage this land. Based on this conversation we just had, my dream is to have everyone speak out, have everyone contribute to this forum. Okay, but I'm not getting that yet. But I know we're gonna get there. Those of you that are not speaking, it doesn't mean that you don't have the ideas. It just means that you're not comfortable sharing. And I hope and pray that sometime down the road, you should be comfortable to share. Because sharing and speaking out is the main reason you're here. Because you can imagine having a manager that is lukewarm, just looking at everyone. No, they're not going to advocate for you. Okay? Now you are those managers. So you need to step up and be that person that you've always advertised. Okay? Remember, we do not have class here on Thursday.